This is Slav Polinski, Downs Grove real estate agent with Caldwell Banker, Slav Polinski Real Estate Team. And today with me I have mortgage banker Keith Hoffman with Draper and Kramer Mortgage Corp. Keith, one of the things when I'm working with buyers, one of the questions that come up is, have you seen a lender? Have you been pre-approved? And I'm amazed at how many buyers do not begin with that process to find out exactly what they could comfortably afford. And I was wondering if you could kind of explain to us, number one, the importance of having the pre-approval, and number two, a little bit about the process that's involved.
Well, I think it's probably the most important piece, other than when the borrower comes to you and says, this is what I want in my home, because they need to know what they can qualify for. Many times people qualify for more than what they're comfortable with, but they are not comfortable with the payments, so therefore they need to bring down their expectations for their homes. To get pre-qualified, it's very easy. All you need to do is speak to a lender. So for myself, what I do is I either have somebody come in, or we can do it over the phone. We go through their name, where they work, how much they make, their debts, and basically we don't need any documentation at that point. But what we do is we look at documentation when they actually get their loan application, when they actually come in for their full approval once they purchase their home. It's very important that they get their W-2s and pay stubs, W-2s and tax returns for the last 2 years, their last 30 days pay stubs, and their last 2 months bank statements. In addition to that, I always like to see if they have a retirement account, even if they're not going to use it. That's really what we look at as possible reserves. So those are the kind of things that we look at. We look at their photo ID, because we need to know who we're dealing with the Patriot Act now. And once we do that, we identify exactly what they can afford under their comfort range, and then we can contact you, the real estate agent, to actually go out now and start looking for the home. One of the toughest things that we have to deal with is how much money they have. So we always ask them for 2 months bank statements. And a lot of times people need to get gifts, or they are going to borrow from their 401k or retirement account, which is acceptable, but we need to know how we need to get to that point. In addition to that, I think the pre-qualification can be done online. So for instance, if they came to my website, they can go right on dkmortgage.com/Hoffman, and they can go on there and get pre-approved. They put all the information in, it comes directly to me. I pick up the phone and call them. I re-verify the information they put in. And it's a real easy process, and I think it's probably the most important piece of this, other than what you do to find the homes for the customer.
Well, I appreciate that, Keith. And one of the things that you mentioned, which really made me think of one of my experiences with a client, was being pre-qualified for more than you could afford. And in this case, and I talked about this in one of my other videos on my website, is I represented the seller. A buyer came in, they were pre-approved, they put an offer on the house, they were first-time home buyers, so they were very excited. 2 days later, we get a call from their attorney saying that they're pulling out because they realized once they sat down that the monthly payments were going to be more than they could afford. Now, if they would have done this type of work before the home buying process, they would have avoided this situation. And I could just imagine, after experiencing that disappointment, that it changed their whole experience of the home buying process, because now they had their hopes up really high, they had it crushed, and they had to regroup. And that all could have been avoided if they started with the pre-approval and finding out exactly what they can comfortably afford.
Right. Well, I think it's very critical that they get pre-approved or pre-qualified to make sure that they can afford what they want. And what the difficulty in that piece of it is that people make changes. So they may be looking in a price range, let's say, of $250,000, but they can afford $400,000. And then they say, well, I can't really find anything in the $250 range, so let's go to $300, which is fine. But we need to know the taxes, and whether it's a condo or a townhouse or a single-family home, so that we're actually running the numbers properly. Because as you know, in planned unit developments or townhouses or condos, there's assessments, there's association dues, and we have to look at that. So Many times, if the taxes are low, the assessments are high, and vice versa. So depending on where they're looking, it's real critical that the lender actually figure out the numbers to make sure that when you're looking, it's in the right range.
Oh, absolutely. In this area, I've seen assessments for condo developments range from $150 a month to $550 a month, and what a huge impact that would make on somebody's monthly payment.
Yeah. Well, one of the nice things is when people qualify, if they're buying a condo and the association pays certain things for them, then we can back that out of the numbers. So
Sure.
it actually
Such
helps
as-
on the ratios.
Absolutely. So, such as some of the utility costs, right?
Exactly.
Like the heat or electric.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Keith, I really appreciate your information and your expertise here on the home buying and pre-approval process. So again, this is Slav Polinski, Downs Grove Real Estate Agent, and Keith Hoffman with Draper and Kramer. Have a fantastic day.